and I'm making another video because I felt like getting off my ass for once, and so today I'm going to be talking about gaming in 2021. And now this isn't just your ordinary video about gaming. It's not, oh, this game is better than it's because, Metal Gear Rising is better than all of them, but I digress. But I'll be talking about what I want, basically, and what I think is maybe trying to game now. A next-gen console. PC is completely out of question. Now, this picture will just tell you everything about the GPU market. Basically, the economy is terrible. But we'll be talking about gaming. First thing I'm going to be talking about today is pricing, and I really do not like the pricing. It's very inconsistent, specifically AAA games. A lot of them do not deliver, or they're just the same recycled garbage we've gotten from like the year 2000, 2010, whatever. Yeah, most EA games at least. But specifically like something like Call of Duty as well. I think some more recent games like, let's say, Modern Warfare, it was good for a Call of Duty game, I'd say. Cold War, not so much. And supposedly the new one coming out, I don't know anything about it. Probably World War II, who knows. Warzone, yeah, they're all kind of just the same thing, really. Just different setting. Yeah, the thing about the gaming industry nowadays is just they really don't even care about quality anymore. Quality is completely out of the question. If you're gonna make a game, it's gonna make a lot of money. It's not about like anything at this point. It's if it looks cool, people will probably buy it, and that equals money. A certain game, Cyberpunk's at 2077. Just not pointing fingers here. Completely unfinished game. It runs terribly, horribly unoptimized. Consoles are completely out of the question for that as well. PC gaming, I don't even actually know. I played it a while back and it didn't run too well for me. Maybe hardly 30 FPS on low graphics too, but that's just one of the games. There's a lot more games like that too. Unfortunately, this day and age, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better at all. Hopefully, we might get more quality games. Just hopefully. It's more of like annual releases now. They kind of make money, so I guess they found the formula and they've just been sticking to it. They never really got quite past the secret Krabby Patty formula. In my own humble opinion, I think nostalgia is a pretty good thing for the gaming industry, not just because they can cash off of our nostalgia for remasters and such. Stuff like the rumored upcoming Grand Theft Auto trilogy remaster, or I don't even think it's the trilogy. I'm pretty sure it's just San Andreas and Vice City, possibly the third. Don't know too much about that, but what I mean by cashing out for nostalgia, other than remasters, is like because usually if we're nostalgic of something, either it's like really bad and we're just really young, we thought it was good, or it probably was good if we remembered it. I'm thinking if something was good enough to be remembered fondly of, it'll probably be good to live up to those standards that we've had. But seeing modern AAA games, even some indie games too, because all you really need is just a little bit of hype, and you got half the internet on your back, and then you got a half of the internet already disappointed in your game about a day after launch. Usually sometimes they end up good, a lot of times they don't. There's a lot of games that get a lot of hype, and unsurprisingly don't live up to the hype. I can name a few, but I'm pretty sure you can name a few off the top of your head. Another thing that I don't really think is too good is other people's opinions of games. A lot of the times they're very misleading. Something like, oh, this game was really good. I played it 20 years ago and I remember it was good, and then you come back and it may have been good for the time, is what I'm saying. Is maybe not living up to now, probably won't be as good. It's always better to start off with, let's say, GTA 4 and then going into GTA 5. It'll feel like a direct upgrade from a lot of things than playing GTA 5 to GTA 4. It'll feel a lot downgrades. There's always something an older GTA game does better than a newer one. But moving back to other people's opinions, I really think that if someone thinks that a game is bad just because maybe there's one mechanic they didn't like, or it's just like it's a platformer and they really like shooters, a lot of people, especially if it's like if they actually have like a lot of clout, someone like a big YouTuber or something. A lot of people will take their opinions and just basically form that as their own, take that as their whole personality. They'll basically make someone else's opinions all of theirs, and they'll be missing out on a lot of good games. Something like, of course, the gameplay footage right now. It's Bioshock 2. I know a lot of people don't like this, specifically a lot of Bioshock 1 fans. Think it's more the same as what I've seen. I think it's really good. It's definitely improved on a lot, especially gameplay. The story may not have been as good, especially the twist, but I think overall it's a more polished game. But then going off my statement just a few seconds ago, you don't really have to believe me. You can form your own opinion. If you don't want to try out the game, you don't have to. But if you do and you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to have someone telling you if the game is bad, you can't like it. I think it's just really toxic, and a lot of people really go by other people's opinions. If they see something on Reddit, they'll immediately think something's bad. Now, with all of just the pricing, pretty much everything is mad expensive. Scalpers have just ruined everything. It's probably not even just scalpers. I think there's a lot more into the equation, or maybe just a little bit more. I don't really know too much about it. All I know is that like I can't get a PS5 for MSRP, so it's kind of bad for all of us. But if you wanted a game on next gen, you're not really missing out on too much, which is I guess the good thing. It's already been out for about a year now, and there's too many exclusives. A lot of last gen titles are, or not even just last gen titles. It was next gen titles are kind of just on last gen, so you aren't really missing out on too much. There's no exclusives I can say off the top of my head. Maybe Demon Souls and a few other games in the PS5. And what I'm saying is, in the meantime, I think since there really isn't too much you're missing on, there isn't like a rush to play the new games or anything. I think a lot of people should really check out some older gems that they probably missed out on. Something like, say, Metal Gear Rising or something. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that play that. There's a lot of people that don't like it. I know that, but I think it's a really good game. But as my statement earlier, you don't have to try it out. Actually, I'm gonna drop the Persona. You do have to try it out. My opinion's better than yours. But moving on now, I think online games have really just have a decline over maybe the last 10 years now. Specifically GTA Online, it's been terrible. I think just because it's had some pretty good updates too. I think it was a good launch. Didn't really have too much, but there's a lot of bugs, and like it's weird how I think a good chunk of the community lives off exploiting the game, and then you got another chunk of the community that just specializes in ruining others' funds, and then the casual players, which are non-existent now, either you just kind of leave the game, or the game becomes your life. Pretty much, you have to live the game as that is your 9 to 5. You have to grind all day, or just use glitches. Basically, just the community split into 3 halves. I think at the core of GTA Online, it's a really fun game, but with all the stuff added over time, and maybe even hell at launch, like, it was really grindy, but after the inflation, it's basically became like real life too. So it almost became a little too realistic in a Saints Row Online game that it's become. That's crazy, honestly, the irony of that. I'm surprised I made the video this long already. That's crazy. It's almost like 9 minutes. Can't believe I just talked on the mic for like 9 minutes straight. It was kind of cool. Just want to kind of vent out a little bit. I think maybe the gaming industry has kind of just become a little too just like monetized. It's not about sharing your art piece someone put their soul into. It's about a big corporation cashing in on that and basically abandoning the project as soon as it's done really well or just hasn't done good at all. Doesn't matter what people think, it just matters what the people above think and what makes the money. It's unfortunate to see this turn of events, but it happens. There's still good developers out there. I know specifically a lot of indie developers, AAA developers really aren't too reliable now. But a lot of indie games flop, and you won't really be seeing too many good indie titles. But every once in a while, there's always a little light in the dark. It's something nice to see, and That's what we'll end it off at. I can't believe someone's gotten this far. That's cool.
Think that I have offended thee. Got nothing against the sisters, I just don't think they're into me. I am not a thug, aka what they pretend to be. I am just myself, aka my worst enemy. Yeah, bitch, cut the swag with a fucking knife. I come hard like my life, keep a pussy tight.